Annalise, thank you. Let's send it to Bill Jones now with sports.
Yes, we got lots to talk about tonight. In fact, we've got a special guest in the studio. He's wearing his Longhorn tie tonight. Clarence Hill of the Star-Telegram. Cowboys rookie minicamp has come and gone. And why is he wearing burnt orange? Because, of course, the Cowboys drafted a Longhorn in the second round, Connor Williams out of Coppell High School. Finally. So you think this team's going to turn things around now, right?
That's the difference.
They got a Longhorn, right?
Yeah, there you go.
All right, what do you really find out at a rookie minicamp?
You know, normally, historically, we've called minicamps the underwear Olympics because it's not real football. It's not real football. They're running around in shorts and a helmet. Well, what they did this weekend was less than that. They had no helmet. They had shorts. There was no contact. They were running half speed. It was teaching on the grass. We found out nothing.
Found out nothing. So you got a lot to look forward to over the next 15 minutes as Clarence explains what happened the last 3 days. But there is lots to talk about with Clarence. First, though, let's get you caught up on what really went on at the Star the last 3 days with Keith Russell.
Guys, it's hard to tell anything about the Cowboys rookies. They all look good right now in uniform. But how good will they look when the pads go on? And do they even have one difference maker in this year's class? As the old saying goes, time will tell.
The Dallas Cowboys select Leighton Vander Esch.
Vander Esch may headline the Cowboys rookie class, but the Cowboys aren't just counting on their top picks to be difference makers.
Let's go back through the history of this team. A lot of guys who have been drafted late or were undrafted and came in as college free agents have been big-time players. And it doesn't matter where they came from, how much their signing bonus was. We're going to look at what they do, and we're going to give them an opportunity to help our football team.
That means having a short memory of being the big man on campus, because you're not the big man anymore, at least not yet.
It may be hard for some people, but I've already forgot what I did. You know, it's a new beginning for me. You know, I'm moving on. You know, I still got to get better.
I can only control what's going on right now. I don't know what my role is going to be. My job is to try to come in and make the team.
One of the big questions for the Cowboys is why do they keep adding players from Boise State to the team? From first-round pick Leighton Vander Esch to sixth-round receiver Cedric Wilson to defensive end DeMarcus Lawrence to defensive lineman Tyrone Crawford to recently departed cornerback Orlando Scandrick to quarterback coach Kellen Moore, what is the Cowboys' connection with Idaho, besides the fact that everyone loves potatoes?
That'd be a great question for other people. Yeah, I think obviously players have had success. There's been success here with you know, the guys that came from Boise, and so I think, you know, obviously when you have success like that, you follow a similar trend.
The legacy that they left at Boise, and now they've continued to do it here at Dallas. I mean, it's just that much more of an expectation, and you really got to fill the shoes.
But make no mistake, this is not about the guys who once played on blue turf, nor is it about how high second-round pick Connor Williams can jump off the turf.
It's a dream come true, and you have to step back on the field and realize, I mean, that what you're working for is, I mean, I understand what the logo represents, and it means so much to me, and so just to be able to be on the field is a huge honor.
And that honor is not to be taken lightly. Everything from here on will be evaluated, even the way the rookies introduce themselves to the vets.
You know, I met Tavon Austin earlier. You know, I went and shook his hand, and I was kind of like, do I tell him my full name? Do I say, you know, my middle name? But, yeah, you got nerves for sure. There's some big-time cats, so you definitely want to make sure you leave a good first impression.
One of the biggest questions of the offseason, who will replace the production of Dez Bryant? Bill, Clarence, this question's for you. Does Michael Gallup have a shot to do that?
Very good question there, Keith. Shout out to Bill Ellis making that rookie minicamp sing there. Okay, Michael Gallup, Dez Bryant. There's no comparison, right?
No.
He's a third-round pick.
It's not about Michael Gallup, and certainly he's a rookie who has a bright future, good upside. You certainly like his potential for the future to maybe develop into number 2, possibly number 1. But this is about the group. This will be a wide receiver by committee. Sanjay Lal, the Cowboys added to this coaching staff. And Sanjay Lal, just talking to him.
He's the new receivers coach.
He's a bright coach. He's a technician. He's going to teach techniques. He's going to have these guys running precise routes. That's going to be the difference. That's what they hope is going to be the difference. Well, time will tell.
Well, Michael Gallup's going to get every opportunity, though, this offseason because Terrence Williams is injured, and he's not going to be participating the next, 2 months.
Right. I mean, he's going to get opportunities, but, you know, they signed veterans, Allen Hurns and Deontay Thompson, so they have Terrence Williams and Cole Beasley. They have a group of receivers that they like, that they think they can coach up. You know, it's really about what's best for Dak Prescott. He doesn't really, at least from the Cowboys' point of view, he'd rather throw to the open guy than force the ball to number one guy and have the pressure of doing that. He wants to be able to go back and sit back there and look through his reads and throw to the open receiver. Their job is to get open and run precise routes. And that's what they did this weekend. They're taking it all the way back to the beginning. They ran routes without the ball, without catching passes, just running routes to make sure they're technicians.
All right, they got the third-round wide receiver out of Colorado State in Michael Gallup. Took a tight end in the 4th round, and that, of course, is Dalton Schultz out of Stanford. But which player are they going to miss the most, Dez Bryant or Jason Witten?
That's a tough question because you're going to miss Witten's leadership. And certainly you're going to miss Dez, his ability to catch touchdowns in the end zone, you know, red zone threat. But let's remember one thing. We're not missing Jason Witten in 2007 on the field. And we're not missing Dez Bryant of 2014 on the field. He caught 69 balls last year, had 6 touchdowns. So, you know, it's going to be tough deciding which one they can replace, but I think that they can function without both of them. They're going to be faster on the outside without both of them, even at tight end.
We heard Leighton Vander Esch, the first-round pick out of Boise State there in Keith's piece. Vander Esch, what should the expectations be in his rookie season? Of course, you got Jalen Smith, who's looking better apparently this offseason.
He's looking better, and he also is not wearing the brace, and that's the key. You know, he's not wearing that brace for drop foot, and that was, you know, we saw him last year, and he had the brace for drop foot. He's faster, more explosive. Talking to a couple of coaches, they say looks like the Notre Dame Jalen Smith. But as far as Vander Esch, I mean, there are high expectations. Rob Marinelli is just chomping at the bit. He's so excited.
Brian Urlacher?
Brian Urlacher, Rolando McClain, all wrapped into one. He's considered the perfect zone linebacker. He's going to get tip pass, intercept. That's according to Rob Marinelli. They have a lot of high hopes for this guy. They think he's going to come in and make an immediate impact.
I think they've got a plan to play Vander Esch and Jalen Smith alongside Sean Lee, and they hope that Sean Lee stays healthy for a full 16 games. All right, Connor Williams, you saw his athleticism there. Of course, he's moving from left tackle inside to left guard. Could he have the most impact of any of these rookies this year?
Well, it's about keeping what's strong. You know, and the Cowboys have had a strong offensive line, and last year they took a step back to a certain extent. They weren't as good as they should have been, some because of injuries, some because they didn't play as well. Connor Williams is going to get them back to doing that. He was a first-round talent who dropped the second round, was an All-American tackle at Texas, going to move in a guard with the Cowboys. And you look at this guy, you look at what those Cowboys offensive line, they're fit. You know, I talked to Nate Newton the other day. There are no more fat boys on the offensive line. These guys are fit and in shape. These are good-looking guys. It's just not about the hogs. These are big boys that can play.
All right, more with Clarence coming up in just a second, as we've got lots to get into as far as the veterans go on this team. And Rod Marinelli says this guy might be the top free agent signing of the offseason. But what do the Cowboys need more than anything else right now? Next.
You need help at safety.
You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, I'm gonna sign you up. Can I be your agent?
Yes, please.
Okay, we'll guarantee your contract. I'm getting your agent. Okay, no, it's you. It's you. Can I be your agent? Guaranteed 10%. 10%. We'll get you on. 10%.
I'm ready to go.
You ready to go?
Ready.
All right. Okay, I need 10%.
So if you need me, you need help.
How desperate are the Cowboys at the safety position? That is Chris Richard, former Seattle Seahawks defensive coordinator, now the Cowboys pass game coordinator on defense, their secondary coach, asking Clarence Hill if he can play.
You know,
That's desperate.
I played running back in Schulenburg High School.
That's right, Schulenburg Shorthorn.
Had to play two-way in Schulenburg. You know, I played running back, a little defensive back. But that was back in fall of 82 was my last year. Okay?
Fall of 82?
Fall of 82 was my last year. Like I said, if you need me, you need help.
And they do need help. All right, let's talk Richard, though, first, because Rod Marinelli says that he might be the best free agent signing of this offseason. Kind of going back to the old Rangers when Nolan Ryan said Mike Maddox, the pitching coach, was the best free agent signing one year.
Rod Marinelli gushed about two guys, Leighton Vander Esch and Chris Richard, and he gushed about Chris Richard and said, of all the additions, free agents through the draft, the best addition, the guy that's got the biggest impact was Chris Richard. And you know, he obviously is the architect of the Legion of Boom secondary, and he's going to bring some of that philosophy here. But he's a coacher. He's a coach. He's a teacher. He knows how to relate to players. I talked to Cheeto. He said he's learned more in this short time with Chris Richard than did all last season. as a rookie season.
But they don't have Richard Sherman. They don't have Ken Chancellor. They don't have Earl Thomas right now.
No.
Can they get Earl Thomas?
Well, that's the $64,000 question, and that's not off the table. And Christian Shaw has certainly stood on the table during the draft for them to go get Earl Thomas. Certainly, he has a relationship with him from Seattle, and that's still out there. We'll see. The Cowboys, Stephen Jones, Jerry Jones talked about they could still add a veteran before training camp or during training camp. What that veteran they might add? Possibly Earl Thomas.
Can they go into the season with what they have at safety right now?
I think they're going to add some veteran. If they don't get Earl Thomas, there'll be some veteran off the street before the start of the season. But again, they like Cheeto. I mean, not something. They like Xavier Woods. They like Kayvon Frazier. They like Jeff Heath. They need help at safety.
They like Cheeto too, but they like him at cornerback.
Yeah, like a corner. Right.
All right.
Big corners. Big corners.
Yeah, big corners. That's what the Legion of Boom prided itself on. Okay, Dak Prescott. When you lose Dez Bryant, you lose Jason Witten. How much pressure is on Dak Prescott? There was pressure on him going into this year, even if he had the veteran.
Big time pressure on Dak Prescott because this whole thing is about being Dak friendly. We're making this offense, in this environment conducive for him to succeed. He needs to succeed. And again, he has that big contract caveat out there coming up for him at the end of the season. The Cowboys can sign him to a long-term contract extension. And they need to decide, is Dak Prescott the guy? We all knew he was the guy as a rookie. There are people who had some doubts after last year. Well, this is the year you need to decide whether this is the guy you want to commit to going forward.
Zeke Elliott, so far so good this offseason.
No incidences, no issues, healthy, ready to go. Jerry Jones said he doesn't have the pressure, the psychological, the mental pressure of all that stuff that hung over him last year. They expect a big year.
All right, the Man of the Year competition continues. The 10-week campaign is drawing to a close for the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, the North Texas chapter. And yes, Clarence is a candidate for the Man and Woman of the Year fundraising campaign. Tell us about it, Clarence.
It's a fundraising campaign to raise money again for the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society to try to stamp out those deadly blood cancers, leukemia, lymphoma, multiple myeloma. I had a good friend of mine, a frat brother who passed away of leukemia and lymphoma a few years ago. I'm running in his honor. Again, it's a fundraising campaign. We're trying to raise money. It's not about me. It's about raising money for leukemia and lymphoma. Keep in mind that Babe Laufenberg, former CBS 11 anchor, his son battled this disease.
We've had Babe here talking about it. And Luke, by the way, is doing really well. He had a great checkup just over a week ago.
Right.
That's right.
And, the Texas basketball player from Irving.
Andrew Jones.
He also had, that's something he battled. So this is something we know, people we deal with, we can touch on a daily basis. This affects a lot of people. Please support, please donate.
You've got an event tomorrow night.
I have an event tomorrow night at Boston's in Arlington. Kevin Smith, Spud Webb are going to come and be celebrity bartenders. We're going to raise money, support my campaign, but it's also about supporting the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society and raising money for those deadly blood cancers. You can go to my Twitter account, Clarence Hill Jr., to donate. I have a link at the top of my Twitter account. Donate to that cause. Please, thank you.
And check him out tomorrow at Boston's on Lamar in Arlington. Thanks, Clarence Hill. And we continue in a moment. More still to come as we look ahead at a busy week to come.